When you think of a player who is on the Madden cover, it's most likely someone who has earned an NFL MVP, multiple Pro Bowl nods, an All Pro selection a time or two, typically a very recognizable career and face in the football world. But does anyone know or remember who's on the 2012 Madden cover? Out of all teams, a player with the Cleveland Browns wearing a number 40 jersey, looking like he found an open crease and about to take it in for a touchdown because that's all he did with the Cleveland Browns. And that player was the one and only Payton Hillis. With further ado, I would like to recap the rise and fall of Payton Hillis' career. Payton Hillis grew up in Conway, Arkansas, and started as a running back at Conway High School, where he amassed 2,631 yards in his senior season and went on to be an All-American and twice an All-State selection. The kid who was a stud on the field, known for pulling a truck as a part of his workout regimen, had his cream of the crop when choosing schools. But when it came time to choose schools, he chose to stay in state with the University of Arkansas over other big time offers like Nebraska, Alabama, Florida, and many others. As a freshman in 2004, Hillis would finish the season with 240 rush yards, along with 12 receptions for 97 yards receiving, and scored a total of 8 touchdowns. Hillis would primarily play fullback for the majority of his Arkansas career, as phenom running backs Darren McFadden and Felix Jones handled most of the carries. While Hillis would take over the dirty work and play a big role in blocking and creating gaps for McFadden and Jones with multiple 1,000-yard seasons, he was still very productive during his time at Arkansas. In 4 seasons, Hillis would finish his career as a Razorback with 203 total carries for 959 yards and 12 touchdowns, averaging 4.7 yards per rush. He also caught 118 passes for 1,195 yards and 11 touchdowns. Following the conclusion of his collegiate career at Arkansas, Hillis would go on to declare for the 2008 NFL Draft, being selected in the 7th round by the Denver Broncos. In his rookie season with the Denver Broncos, Hillis would mainly be utilized as a fullback. His best game would come catching 7 passes for a total of 116 yards and a touchdown versus the Miami Dolphins. He would soon be thrown in at tailback, though, due to injury at the position, and would finish the 2008 season with 343 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns, despite dealing with injuries of his own in his rookie season. Coming off a promising rookie year and expecting to be more of a factor in the 2009 season, the Broncos made an off-season coaching change, firing then head coach Mike Shanahan for a younger offensive prowess Josh McDaniels. The Broncos would go ahead and use their first-round pick on UGA running back Knowshon Moreno and sign veteran Correll Buckwalter, and Hillis in that 2009 season would finish with a total of 54 rushing yards on 13 carries. At the conclusion of that season, and noted disappointment with the lack of playing time, Hillis was shipped off to the Cleveland Browns. For the start of the 2010 season, Hillis would start on the bottom of the depth chart as a running back, splitting time between fullback and tight end. Much similar to his time in Denver, injuries would create opportunity to take over at running back. Once Hillis was handed the keys to the starting running back position, he never looked back. In his first start in Week 3 versus the Ravens, he would go on to run for 144 yards on 6.5 yards per carry to a Ravens team only one season ago that would let up 3.4 yards per carry and would finish the game with a total of 180 all-purpose yards. The following game, he would rush for 102 yards for the Cincinnati Bengals. Hillis would end his historical 2010 breakout year with 5 games with more than 100-plus yards receiving, and finishing with a total of 1,177 total rushing yards, and with an additional 477 yards in the receiving game in a season where he wasn't even projected to be a starter. As a result of his successful 2010 season, he would be selected in the final rounds of the Madden cover, along with Matt Ryan, Ray Rice, and Super Bowl MVP at the time Aaron Rodgers. He would go into the final round with Michael Vick, and on April 27th, 2011, Hillis was announced as the cover for the game, beating out Michael Vick with a 66% of the vote. As quickly as Payton Hillis' rise happened, his downfall would come quicker. After failed negotiations about a contract extension with Cleveland, he would go into the 2011 season with no long-term stability. He would put up solid numbers, but injuries were starting to become a common theme in his career. And in 2015, he would eventually call it officially quits from the recommendation of his doctor, stating, "As far as it goes with the NFL, my heart isn't in it anymore."